What I want to talk about is what Esther does and how she does it, and how someone like me or anyone else here could try to learn how to do that.
Well, it really is what we teach all day, every day, because without exception, you are all extensions of this non-physical energy. And without exception, non-physical energy is flowing to you. So the question really is about, how do I get into a reliable receptive mode? And the answer to that is practice being there. The question is, how do I translate energy? How do I find a consistent stream of energy that is so identifiable and undeniable that I can translate it? And the answer to that is want it and expect it, and then practice being in the receiving mode. Esther did not have an intention for this as such. In fact, if she had known that it was going to lead to this, she would have made sure it didn't, because she saw this as something weird. But she was born a teacher and an uplifter, and once she was guided to meditate and the connection was made that was undeniable, then it just unfolded. We think the main factors that helped Esther were that she wasn't trying to do something, and so she wasn't keeping track of whether she was doing it or not. She and Jerry meditated for 9 months with no intention of anything other than the sweet taste of that alignment. That's all she was reaching for, that feeling of detachment and that free-floating feeling of being resistant free. That's what she was hooked on. And because that's what she was reaching for and finding, then at her point of readiness, she had some advantage for the unfolding that you're describing, in the sense that Jerry was the one full of the questions. Earlier we were talking about how there is a question and an answer that are different vibrations. So if you're the one asking the question and you're also the one wanting to receive the answer, you can't be in both places at once. So there has to be some definition between when you are asking and when you are receiving. And most people are too impatient for that. They stand in a vibrational attitude of asking and then wonder why they can't receive. Where with Esther, she was in the vibrational attitude of quieting her mind, period. So Jerry was doing the asking and we were doing the answering, and Esther was doing the receiving. So that is something very fundamental in someone having a successful opening, is that you want to be clear what phase you're in. You could let life help you to identify all of your questions and just keep identifying them, and then you could sit with the intention of relaxing and allowing your vibration to rise, and it always will, and then at appropriate moments the insights will come. There are a lot of people that receive that don't necessarily do what someone today called it channeling. Esther never liked that word because it meant so many things that Esther doesn't see herself doing. She would say to us, Abraham, why are they lying? Because they're describing an experience that is so different from mine. And we said, everybody's having their own unique experience, and you will too. So don't try to mimic anyone. Just establish your relationship with your source energy, as you're doing through meditation, and then just pay attention to your moments of alignment. And when you find yourself in that receiving mode, that's when you want to turn your attention toward it and allow that vibration to gain some momentum.
I've been meditating every day for 8 months, and I've made it a really good habit. And I usually do it towards the evening, at night, closer to bedtime because of my schedule. And it's been an evolving thing where I need to try to quiet my mind, because I know you've said in other times that that's what you were told to do. And so I try to quiet my mind, but my mind is often racing at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, it's more difficult to quiet your mind because you've asked it to be active all day long.
Mm-hmm. And I think I've gotten to a place where I know what I'm reaching for. And
what is it?
Well, to me, it feels like the edge of sleep, but I don't want to fall asleep afterwards. I want to be able just to relax, and whatever flows through my head is okay, and not
But what
judge
you're
it.
reaching for is the edge of clarity. You're shutting down resistance, you're not shutting down reception. And sleep is sort of shutting everything down. So that could help. You're wanting to quiet your resistance while you stay alert to clarity. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
So think about the times when you most want to go to sleep. Isn't that to sort of recover from resistance? To bring a long day to an end? Or we know you're seeking refreshment, but make the distinction, feel the distinction between wanting to sort of escape from physical and wanting to leap toward non-physical. Feel the difference between wanting to be free of confusion and wanting to be full of clarity. This connection to source that you accomplish through meditation is not like sleep. It's like fresh air. It's like brightness and newness and wholeness and fullness and eagerness. You see what we're getting at?
I brought up the description of edge of sleep because before I was really focused, okay, focus on your breath, breathe in, breathe out, and then it slowly became, okay, that kept my mind racing when I was actively thinking, breathe in now, breathe out now. So I'm thinking, okay.
But it's actively thinking about something that isn't much thought. Those are not very active thoughts. Those are not thoughts full of resistance unless you're afraid you'll stop breathing.
But it's hard to stay on that subject. But when I thought about just breathing naturally and feeling how good it feels and feeling how relaxing that is, that got my head to, like, then I felt my whole energy, like, feeling relaxed and what I think is receptive.
Well, you would know. And so our question to you is, do you find yourself in that receiving mode or do you fall asleep?
Sometimes I want to just go to sleep, but then other times...
Well, then that's a different intention, isn't it?
Okay.
We would not utilize meditation as the pathway into sleeping.
Okay.
We would use meditation as the pathway into more receiving. Sleeping is sort of shutting down receiving. And meditation is opening the pathway to more receiving. Can you feel the difference?
Yeah. So how do I do that with my meditation? How do I...
What's happening in the morning that you can't do it then?
have to get to work.
So you have shortage consciousness.
Yeah. I teach a class in the evening, so I get home really late, and then I often have to get up really early to meet with my
But if someone
advisor,
said to you, your meal is at, what time do you have to be at work?
It varies throughout the week. It's sometimes 10, sometimes I don't have to be there until the evening to teach my class. So it's just...
Well, let's say someone said to you, you get one meal a day and it's at 7 a.m. It's at 7 a.m. And you'd say, I can't be there. And we think after a while you'd make the time.